Hello and welcome to Game Grade. Today I will be discussing Mario and Luigi Brothership. This review is kind of spoiler free because I'm only about 5 hours into the game, but it's a 35-hour long game, and I don't know if I'm going to make it through the full 35 hours. It's too long. The writing is kind of bad, and there's a lot of it. They keep reminding me of the story, like every 2 minutes, someone tells me that you need to go to the lighthouse. You need to light the lighthouse. Don't forget to light the Great Lighthouse. You need to go to the Great Lighthouse and connect the islands. And no, it's a Mario game. Less story is better in these. The player's journey through the game and their individual encounters should be the story in this. And I understand it's not the case for all games, like playing God of War, Ragnarok, which is something I just played recently and will be grading probably next. I'm not sure. It should be very narrative driven, but that's not what Mario is. I would expect to shape the story a little more. They just give you like a bare bones experience, like save the princess and your individual memories of the levels and some silly thing that you did or some cool jump you made, or that's, what the story is. But this one is just clogged up with way too much dialogue. It's just too long as well. Like, I don't have that much time to play games, and there are a lot of games I want to play. And when I, went how long to beat and saw that it was like 35 hours, it kind of put me off the game a bit. I'm going to try to play more, but who knows? In the game, you have to navigate the ocean currents, and that's how you move your boat around and go to different islands, because you're trying to connect all these islands to your ship. And I think it's like a metaphor for connection. And like the first boss, he's just screaming and mad because nobody wanted to be his friend. It's literally like a gorilla with the mind of a preschooler. It looked like a cool boss, but the story is just kind of meh. But the ocean current thing, it's really annoying. A stage selection or something, or like a straight line would have been better, because you have to select what current you want to go to, and then you just keep circling around. But the game is screaming at you to go and revisit old islands, but the boat moves too fast. So the second you go into the blue pipe thing, or maybe it's a green pipe, I can't remember, to go back to one of the old islands, it basically, like as soon as you get there, it'll pop up a message on top of your screen. You're approaching a new island, you should go to it. And it's like, well, but I just got back to the old island, and I wanted to explore and maybe do a side quest. And then it'll say, oh, you're leaving the island. The island's going out of view. Quick, go to the new island. But by the time you go back to your main ship and then walk up the mountain to reach the cannon that you have to get in, you're past the island. And of course, you can just circle around in the same current, but it takes a bit. So no matter what, you're waiting for when you actually want to go to that island, or you're waiting to get to the islands. It's, not great. Every single thing feels like a repeating fetch quest. Every island, it feels the same. Whereas like older Mario and Luigi games, you would always kind of get to new areas, but you would sometimes have to go back to old areas, and like almost Metroidvania-esque once you would get a new ability or whatever, and you could like get a new chest or whatever. But this game does that, where it wants you to go back to the old islands, but it feels like you're doing the same thing every time, and it feels almost like they just copied and pasted it. It's not great. My main highlight is the not a pig snoutlet. It looks like a pig, but it is not a pig, okay? It reminds you multiple times that it is not a pig. I love the not a pig. It's great. The combat is another, pretty good highlight, but as opposed to the older Mario and Luigi games, the attack animations and even animations in the overworld, they feel very set. Like, they don't feel incredibly player controlled, even though you are pressing like A or B to, do the attacks, or X and Y sometimes, which is nice. It's not just like, other JRPGs where you just mash A as fast as possible the second you get into combat, so that way you can, keep spamming the same attack and kill everything. You actually have to time it, which is nice. But I do think the input feels a little bit slow compared to the previous Mario and Luigi games. Even stuff in the overworld's a little bit delayed, a little bit unresponsive. And I guess that's probably because they chose a more stylized look. I like the look of it. It looks like a, kind of like a comic book a little bit. It's great. But I feel like this stylized look has, come at the cost of smoother gameplay. More responsive gameplay is just not there. But, like, the attack animations in combat, they're good. They look cool, but they don't feel very nice to hit the buttons and time it just right. And I feel like the timing is a little generous with a lot of the dodges, the counters, even the attacks themselves. And so once again, it just doesn't feel as satisfying when you hit like a big combo or whatever. But at the combat's fun. But at the point where I am in the game, there are just a few enemy types, and even on like the 6th, 7th island, whatever I'm on, it's just the same, like 2 or 3 enemy types, but now, like, there's a little sprout thing. It's one of the first things you encounter. It was green. Well, now it's blue and has more health. That's, like, it. And it's not fun just doing the same ones. I want way more enemy variety, and they're too predictable. The enemies, they have, like, 1 or 2 attacks, and that's it. It would be nice if, once again, there was a little more variety. And, you know, I kind of felt like Scarlet and Violet, they babied the player, but this is really, like, designed for 3-year-olds. This is an RPG fit for 3-year-olds. It's too easy. But, you know, I started playing games at a very young age. If I had started playing, you know, this game, I'd probably get bored because it's just not that challenging. I would like to die in the game, you know, at least a little bit, and not just breeze through it. Something to make me want to go back to the old islands and grind the enemies and level up, but it's not there. I'm, you know, about 5 whatever hours in, and it still feels like I'm in the tutorial because it literally, at this point, just gave me a pop-up telling me about shops when I'd already been to like 3 different shops and bought a ton of gear. And to do the side quest, you have to go listen to 3 rock characters gossip. And like, why? Like, can't they just put like a notice board or something up on the ship island and you get your side quest there, you know? But no, you have to go and listen to 3 characters who are just like gossiping. Don't get it. And you know, the cutscenes in this game are long and boring, when the developers literally added a button that speeds up the cutscenes. You hold B and, you know, like in most games, it makes the text go faster, but it also literally speeds up the animations. So clearly someone, you know, when they were making this game was like, these cutscenes are long, these animations are boring. Is there a way to speed it up? You know, but I guess they were at the point where they just couldn't change it. So they just sped it up. And the Not a Pig will not stop holding your hand the entire time you play. It needs to just back off, let you explore, let you fall off the map or something. The whole thing has guardrails on it, and it's not great. But, I mean, maybe the game gets a lot better. A lot of people seem to like it, you know, find it charming. But I guess that was kind of the same thing with Princess Peach Showtime. A lot of people liked it, found it charming. I personally wasn't a huge fan of it. The game looked nice, you know. It was made in, like, I think cutscenes were rendered in Unreal Engine and stuff, so it looked nice. But the gameplay was so boring and it was so easy. And one more thing with this game is the, like, it's just really laggy. And when it does, like, a pan over the area, it jitters and stutters, and it's moving a lot, and it honestly messes with my eyes a bit, just because it's so jerky and constant frame rate drops. It's not pleasant to look at. If you're standing still in one area, it, you know, might be all right, but yeah. And another little minor thing, in the old games, if, like, Luigi hit Mario with his hammer or whatever, just in the overworld, Mario would, like, crouch down a bit and make, like, an ooh sound or something. They don't do that now. The hammers just phase through. So, I missed that little detail. And also, in pretty much every cutscene, Mario and Luigi, when they're explaining something, they'll just go, or something. They're like the minions, but even more unintelligible. It sounds weird. And also, about the only dialogue line that you can understand is them screaming each other's names about 5 times in every cutscene. I guess they're just trying to warm up like the new voice actors or something. But anyway, to finish up, I will normally rank these on a list. I've only done one other one of these. So obviously, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is at number 1. And with ranking this game, I would put it probably at number 2, one under The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, because these are the only 2 games I have. It'll, you know, get a little bit more interesting with each game that I do. So, thank you for listening. Bye.